Let's roll. Holy cow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We're down here at Les Hills Harley Davidson, and look what they've lent me today. This is just a phenomenal motorcycle. Just an amazing thing. Can y'all guess what it is? This is the FX LRS Lowrider Sport, or Lowrider S. I don't know what the S stands for, honestly. But check out these inverted forks, dual disc brakes, the deep bronze rims, and most importantly, look at that, 117 cubic inches. It's got these shotgun pipes. It's got a little more suspension. I think we've got an extra inch here of a height. There's more ground clearance. It's got this single gunfighter seat. I call it a gunfighter seat. I don't know what it's called, but look at that. And here's the best part over last year's model. Ta-da! Look at that tack right there on top. Speedo's right in here, but we'll get back to that. Just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful motorcycle in every single way. Phenomenal, phenomenal. So let's go over some of the specs. It's 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8. That's 1917 cubic centimeters. That's just, this is the second largest motorcycle I've ever ridden, and it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's got a different cam than the regular one. It's got of course more displacement. It's got these beautiful shotgun pipes. It's just got everything. Compression is 10.2 to 1. It's got these, you know, crinkled black heads, and then the shiny gloss back here. It's got this neat intake, just a gorgeous looking intake. Isn't that neat? Of course, the chrome push rod covers, and more of that crinkled paint here and on the transmission. Then over here it kind of flattens out a little bit, kind of like the denim over here. Just, it's kind of everywhere, that crinkle. Let's point it out in a couple places. Here in the triple trees, the top of the tank, around the Speedo. These locations that are already pointed out back here. But anyway, so anyway, it's quite a power plant, and it produces, near as I can figure, 105 horsepower, and get this, 125 foot-pounds of torque. That's 169 newton meters. 125 foot-pounds. It's phenomenal, phenomenal. By the way, the Milwaukee 8 has four plugs, 2 per cylinder, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear. It's an air and oil cooled engine, and I loved the old twin cam, and this is better than that. This is just the next evolution. You know, it's a step up. Let's start with the front, because this is really, there's a lot going on here in this front end. We'll start with the obvious things. This little bullet fairing, or whatever you want to call it. The mini fender. These little guards here that protect the fork. What fork? Oh, this inverted cartridge fork. And I don't know if it's a Showa or not. Maybe it says up here, it says Harley Davidson. But it's absolutely amazing. That leads down to these dual disc brakes. I could not find a diameter on that, no information handy, but the calipers are fixed. There's 4 pistons each, 2 on each side, with a floating disc, gigantic floating disc. And all Harleys, as far as I know, have Brembo brakes, so these should be Brembos. And I will tell you that they just work. Going back to the rear end, we've got the monoshock with adjustable preload. I think you have to take the seat off, or maybe the side cover off, to do the adjustments. There is an extra inch of suspension here. There's that longer monoshock. I think it's a 53 millimeter monoshock, so you get just a little bit more there, and with that you get more ground clearance. Other things to think about here. Let's look at the wheelbase on this hot rod. 63.6 inches. That's 1615 millimeters. But here's a really cool number, and it's more than any of the other Softails I've ridden. 5.7 inches of ground clearance, and it shows. I mean, look at that. That is roughly 144 millimeters. But look at that, just loads of ground clearance. Now, you know, they did that. Meanwhile, the seat height stays at about 27 inches. How does that work? At 27 inches or 28 inches, it would be 1716 millimeters. So that's really quite a low seat. I've jumped on this, obviously I drove it down here, and it feels very low. But that's an amazing amount of ground clearance, isn't it? Especially with that much seat. Fuel tank, and here's something I just love about this. 5-gallon fuel tank. 5 gallons, that's 19 liters. I mean, look at that thing. Just phenomenal. Yeah, it's supposed to get about 47 miles a gallon. That means you got a almost 250 mile range. So 200 miles between Phillips. That's awesome. You know, that's just a great thing. Total weight on this bike, 679 pounds. which roughly 308 kilograms, and that's wet weight. So you know, there's that number. Let's jump to the tires real quick. On the front, they say Scorchers, Michelin Scorchers. The number on there is 110/90/19 on the front. Look at that rim, that dark bronze rim. Isn't that just gorgeous? And on the rear, oh, I can see it right there. It's a 16, 180, 70/16. And in that, I mean, look at that thing. It's just pure beef. Absolutely amazing. Did I mention it's got a 6-speed transmission? This motor transmission combination is just great. I think it's one of the smoothest ones I've ever come out with. It's a very positive shifting. Well, we'll talk more about that later. This is the very interesting thing to me. This is a 4-inch gauge, and it's both, let me run that up here. It's both analog and digital. So check that out. All those little lights in there, oil light, everything you can imagine. And let's do that again. Everything you can imagine. Just blinkers, oil light, everything you can imagine. Just right there. And the LCD down here, there's the mile/hour thing. Fuel gauge right in there. Trip meter A and B. And all that's controlled with this button over here. See if we can see any changes down there. Trip A, trip B, range, time, RPMs. So you got two, and odometer. So it's got all kinds of neat things in there. Let's jump back away from that a minute. Of course, there's the button here to control the LCD, the horn, high-lows for the lights. This is a blinker. The left side blinker on a Harley is on the left, right side blinker is on the right. Kill switch and start switch and a hazard light switch. So everything's right there. Notice this high rise here, the crinkled paint around here against the satin black here. And one thing that really jumped out at me were these fork covers. I don't know if you can see those. Just a beautiful looking thing. And I love this little bubble fairing, this little bullet fairing. Just a beautiful thing. There's a lot going on with this front end. I think there's just a tremendous amount going on with that front end. Then stepping back, we see this kind of a bob fender, very simplistic, you know, got this beautiful taillight on the back, all LED. I think the light on the front is LED. Let's go check that out. And it looks like the blinkers are analog. Yeah, that's an LED light. Just everything you can imagine. But look at that Softail. You know, it looks like a hardtail, but yet it's a Softail. And that's one of the beauties of a motorcycle like this. And what I say, 3 things about a motorcycle like this. One is it's a Softail. So right there, that's great. 2 is it's got the M8 engine. You can't beat that. That's just phenomenal. And 3, well, incredibly good looking motorcycle. Just look at that thing. So can you expand this engine? They do have kits. I think it goes up to 131 or something like that. I think those kits are can be dealer installed. I asked about the warranty on this bike. It's a 2-year unlimited mileage. The other color you can get for this is Vivid Black. It only comes in 2 colors. But hey, just noticing something here. If you look at these brakes, kind of looks like they got that bronze back here. I don't know if that's just my eye or... Very interesting, very nice. But, you know, isn't that just gorgeous? Just the whole thing. Everything about it. It's just a shiner, real beauty. You know, how does Harley get such a large engine in there, such a low seat, and still have such a beautiful motorcycle? I don't know, but I love it. Hey, I'm Fuzzy Biker, and I'm going to go take that hot rod for a ride. Wahoo! It's easy. Throwing leg over that thing was easy. Kickstand up. Ignition on. Look at that. Like a Christmas tree. Beautiful, huh? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, the sound of thunder. The sound of thunder. I love it. I love it. Wahoo! Well, let's go see what we can do with this hot rod. Good grief. The torque is phenomenal on these things. You know, the already torquey 107 or 114, and this is a 117. I mean, what a deal. What a deal. Let's see what this bike does for turning. Look at that. Very good. Very good indeed. I like it. I like it. Let's try the other way. Let's see if the old Fuzzy Biker can make this bike turn. They're just kind of crawling along here. Crawling along. There is Les Hills Harley Davidson. If you are interested in the new or used Harley Davidson, give these people a call. Ask for Jimmy. Tell them Fuzzy Biker sent you. They can help you out. Wahoo! Let's roll! Holy cow! Whoa, 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 whoa. I have a feeling the mapping is a little different than the last Softail I rode. The S stands for speed. Ha ha ha! All that extra torque must be right at the bottom because it is amazing. I'm kind of reaching for the bars. I'm leaning forward a little more than usual, I would think, but not uncomfortably so. I like it. I like it. The seat itself is comfortable. The bars are a good width apart, and the sound is the sound will egg you on. Oh, holy moly! The mapping is definitely different on this one. They've done something to make it spark to life. It does very well indeed. Let's get it into top gear. 4, 5. There is a gear indicator, by the way. Okay, now we're in 5th gear. Let's get to 65. We're tacking, it looks like about 2,400. Oh, yeah, 2,400. Let's drop it down to 60. We're tacking about 22. I like the way you sit on this. It's very aggressive while still being upright. It rides very, very nice. It's an aggressive ride, but yet it's still comfortable. How do they do that? I don't know. Of course, that M8 just shifts and does everything like it's supposed to immediately. Very positive shifting. This bike is a very aggressive version of the M8. This is a very, it earns its S. 117 cubic inches. That's 1,917 cubic centimeters. I think I found 105 horsepower, 125 foot-pounds of torque. All right, let's talk about some other things. The mirrors. I can see my shoulders in both mirrors, but they're not bad. Pretty good, actually. They're certainly smooth. The vibrations are not making it to the mirrors. I just love this thing. The engine does have counterbalance shafts, so it is pretty smooth overall. And certainly going down the road, it's very smooth. It's got the right, you know, it has the right feeling, the right sound, the right kind of vibration, the right kind of everything. It makes the right everything, indeed. Handling for this kind of thing. I mean, look at this. This is a 700-pound motorcycle, 679 or something like that. It just does it so well. No problems at all. And the pickup is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Harley made a deal with the gods of motorcycles. They get all the low-end torque, the best looks, the sound of thunder. They get it all. How do they, you know, what do they have to give up for that? Well, they had to accept a long wheelbase and lots of mass and this forward seating position, which is not a problem. I think they made a good trade, and the Harley people themselves have monopolized on all of those trades. A mass heavy bike like this is very stable, and the engine's got so much torque it just offsets it. I mean, it's just, you wouldn't know the difference. And by the way, the mass is so low on this bike, even this bike with the extra inch of ground clearance, that the handling is phenomenal. Let's see what we got going on here. Well, we got a car turning. I want to turn around and go back. No one behind us. And it turns very well, by the way. It just turns like it, you know, no problems at all. It can go smooth. Look at that. I can modulate the throttle when I need to. But when I open it up, whoa! It just climbs. Look at this beautiful road, huh? And that's another thing, and I've talked about this. This is an old wore-out bumpy road, and the suspensions on these Harleys just, you know, they make it good. And that's another advantage of the mass. You have the suspension working against the mass of the motorcycle and the road, and the road won't change, and the bike tries not to change. The more mass you got, the more the suspension has to work against, so you get that better feel in that sense. Let's try the brakes. We're going about 50. Not bad. They're new bike brakes. I didn't mention this earlier, but the levers, the clutch and the brake levers on Harleys, some people think they're big and clunky. I think they're great. They feel solid, firm. They do exactly what you want them to. I love it. I just love it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please hit like, subscribe, put in the comments below what you like about this particular video and what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. We are here to please. Wahoo! You know, they've kind of given you everything in this bike. Loads of power, great handling, phenomenal brakes, all in one package. And how do they do that? Well, like I said, they made a deal with the motorcycle gods, right? By the way, this does have ABS brakes. The brakes on this thing are phenomenal. They're just, they need broke in yet. They're so fresh. That's road speed. And that was me hesitating. What the heck, huh? What the heck, Fuzzy? This motorcycle is a gift from God. This thing is amazing. Just wow. Can you hear that? That's stock pipes. Imagine this with aftermarket. This thing is aggressive. They've got it mapped so it takes full advantage of that 117 cubic inches. The M8 transmission is a rocket. It clicks right into gear, right out of gear. It does exactly what you want it to do. The clutch, as in all these M8 Harleys, the clutch is just the best thing ever. I love it. I love it. Wow. So let's talk about handling a little bit. Pushing it around your garage, it's a heavy bike. It's a heavy motorcycle, no doubt about that. On the plus side, it's got an incredibly low center of gravity. And you have a bike with this much weight and down so low, even when you sit on it, I'm 200 pounds, the center of gravity really doesn't shift that much. So moving around the garage, it'll take a lot of activation energy to get the thing moving, but that's fine. Very low center of gravity, kind of offsets that. It's still heavy. Handling in the parking lot, I think it handles good in the parking lot. It seems to have handled better than the other M8s I've driven. It's got a very aggressive throttle. You just have to be careful of that. Going you know, 5 to 50 miles an hour, just it's a dream. This bike from, you know, from 0 to 120 is probably just a rocket ship every way. I would call this a bullet. This thing is just a bullet. It's just phenomenal. It's just power all the way. I love it. On the interstate, I didn't take it on the interstate, but it's got plenty of what it takes to be an interstate bike, and it's got plenty of range in that tank. 5-gallon gas tank. Absolutely amazing. Okay, what do I think of the motorcycle? Well, I think you can guess. I'm in love. This is the sportiest of the Softails that I've ridden so far. It's absolutely amazing. It's got power like you wouldn't believe. The mapping has been created to yeah, it's a rocket ship. It's just all there right away. It does it well, but yet it seems to be something you can baby. Hey, look at that motorcycle. Let's take that for a ride too, huh? If you're in the market for a new or used Harley Davidson, get yourself down here to Loess Hills Harley Davidson. LoessHillsHD.com. They can help you out. They've got everything. I love the showroom. It's very well laid out. It's out here in the beautiful Loess Hills. It's worth a bike ride just to ride through the hills. Everything you could ever want is in this place. What a wonderful bike shop. What a great bike shop. Okay. And like I say, life is short. Get out there and ride. Ride down to Loess Hills Harley Davidson. Wahoo!